Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I have to redo this video. I just did this video a minute ago, but I was mistaken. I thought it was the trans writer who's now working on Doctor who made this statement. It's the actress who plays the companion. So yeah, I said the wrong name. So I called the wrong person a stupid bitch, so I have to do my video again. Okay, so yeah, the actress who is playing the companion in the latest season of Doctor Who came out and said that the fact that they're upsetting fans means they're doing the right thing. Now, in some respects, I can understand and agree with that, because some Doctor Who fans, like other science fiction fans, are racist, bigot idiots. And they hate anything progressive, and they're just trolls. So I understand why triggering them and upsetting them would please you. But unfortunately, they're not the only people who are having problems with the series. It's the general fans. And they're having issues with actual reasons with the show and changes to the show, not just prejudices and so forth. And to lump everyone into the toxic fan category, which is a percentage of the fandom, we can't act like they don't exist, because it's just so lame, the different sides of the argument people take, where it's like the fans will sit there and say we're all wonderful, progressive, loving people, and it's just these horrible people with their gender that hates us. And then they sit there and say, oh, so the fans are horrible. And it's like, the fans in the middle are in the middle, and you've got the haters, the bigots, the toxic fans on one end, the extreme end, and then you've got the people working on the show who are just focused on them. Their whole idea of the show is just the message, just the progressive politics that they're targeting at and aiming at those people to aggravate them. And this is something that we've seen in Star Trek, where they deliberately do and say things, and some of the writers have admitted in public, in writing, to deliberately doing things to upset the fans. This is insane. I'm a gay man. I understand how important representation is, and being progressive and so forth. I get all that, but I don't expect to see myself represented in every character in every show, because we're just a minority. We're not the majority. So it's okay to have straight white people actually being in something. I can't say too much more about it because I'm white. And then I'll just be called racist, because part of this is about racism and race representation, and there's some real criticism of how the show used to be a science fiction show and was about entertaining people with good stories. Now it's about pushing a political agenda for points, because it's just their focus, their mentality. The people who are in charge of this, they're in their own little worlds, and they just see themselves. It's all about them, and they actually have forgotten that you're supposed to be making the show for the general audience. And it's okay to have a message in there to give those stories depth and meaning, but that's not the point of the show, and that's not the focus of the show, and not the driving force of the show. And unfortunately for them it is, because that's what they're all about. And they are the equivalent of the toxic fans. They're the toxic, I don't know what to call them, toxic production, I don't know, the toxic creators, I don't know. But they're the opposite end of the spectrum, and the two sides are just warring. And in the meantime, the actual audience is just sort of going home quietly, because the show sort of isn't there for them anymore. And we're seeing the ratings drop and drop and drop, and it didn't pick up any in America. The idea was they were going to launch Doctor Who for America, and suddenly they were going to have all these new fans because they're spending all this money and they were so progressive, and it didn't work. I mean, I don't think anyone actually cares that Doctor Who is gay, but they actually... And I hate saying good stories, because that's also a dog whistle that the toxic fans use to just dismiss anything that they do, and they just say, oh, it's bad stories, oh, it's bad quality, and then they can just trash anything because of their issues, which is they don't like anything progressive, they don't like trans people, they don't like gay people, they don't like women, they don't like any minority. and they just hate on it no matter what. So there's those people, and yeah, unfortunately, that's who the writers and creators think are the fans, and they seem to think their job is to punish and educate them rather than entertain just the general audience. So yeah, it's just no, sweetie, no. It's not a good thing when you're upsetting and alienating your whole audience. And even if you're just focusing on the bigot minority, that's still not what you should be focused on. That's fine to do that on the side and have that be a part of it, but that's not the focus on what it should be about. And yeah, so you need to readjust. Sorry, dear. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. It's very late in Australia. I'm very tired and I'm falling asleep. So if any of this sounded a bit off, it's because I'm almost asleep right now. But I had to say this because it was upsetting me.